Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the practice. Today we're going to be doing an urban detox class. And so detox is mostly or more restorative than the other practices that you'll experience here, whether it's a fit or a flow. And detox is going to move us through a lot of opportunities to be still and yet at the same time feeling our bodies, observing our minds, and so really just kind of taking in that perspective of a pause. While things could still be moving through you and moving around you, as you're practicing at home, you could have, and I mention this all the time, and to remind us that it's okay, noises, animals, children, partners, spouses, anybody moving around and about, and you can find a practice being on your mat. And so see that, feel that in the lines of your mat and the frame, and for your body to sit into here for the next hour. And this practice, more so than the others, it can be really intriguing and to be like, I think I'm gonna go get a snack, or yeah, that's probably enough. I encourage you to stay with it and throughout the entire hour for your practice, and so that you can receive as much as you possibly can. You're welcome to turn on any light or ambient music. If you'd like music, there are plenty of playlists on the Spotify labeled Detox. You could put one of those on. You're also welcome to listen. You just want to kind of take the energy and the stimulus down as much as you can. So you're not choosing more stimulus or stimuli, choosing less. Okay, let's start lying down onto our backs. If you're not there, it's okay if you have some props, blankets, pillows, blocks, anything you might use to support your body. And if it's been a little challenging to see clearly lately, with everything that is going on, with everything that you might be feeling, as we calm ourselves and slow down, release tension, communicate differently within ourselves, you see something from a different angle, and you may have a moment of clarity that simply feels good. If that happens, let it feel good. The breath pattern is natural. Let it be soft, unforced, unchanged. And here and there, I'll present or invite you to take a deeper breath and perhaps a sigh. If that feels good, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, keep your breath and as calm as you possibly can. And very lightly begin to bring some movement into your fingers, into your toes. Feel yourself drawing in, feel yourself drawing out, and from stillness and back into some light movements. Let's take the arms over your head. Watch anything over your head. Give yourself a full body stretch. I always say there are no mistakes. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. But it's your process, it's your being, it's your mind. Bend your legs, bring your feet flat. And if you don't believe it, nobody else is going to believe it. And so why I think it's so important in that we allow ourselves to be on a mat and to be in a practice. Move your hips to the left and roll onto your right side. Come into the fetal position. Rest your head in. You can allow your back to unravel. And you're saying so much without saying anything at all. And by your willingness to be on a mat and to be in a practice like yoga, or it could be going on a walk or a hike, wherever you find your meditation, you're saying so much and without saying anything at all. And I think that's pretty cool. Let's roll all the way over onto your belly with your legs straight. And lie flat onto your stomach. Bring both arms down by your sides. And then we'll start with the left cheek down onto the ground. And then rest your head. Make any adjustments if you need to in your hips. Reset your legs. Might feel nice to take your feet a little bit wider or your knees a little wider to soften your low back. If you've always wanted to explore what it means to do nothing or to do less than something, and then you're in the right place. And if you don't understand the value of that yet, you're really in the right place. Did not expect, with as much as we tend to take on and throughout life, that anybody's mind would necessarily initially be able to accept being on a mat, lying around in stillness, holding space, and yourself being held in space by others. A representation of stillness and peace. Where does that ever make sense? And how many people are really supporting other people in doing that on a regular basis? I don't think that many. So I get it if it's a little foreign. I understand if you push the practice away or have pushed the practice away at times, even for phases, periods of times, I get it. And slowly switch, turn your right cheek. And land in the counter stretch. And so if the initial stretch is the first side, and we switch to the other side, feel the counter stretch or the counter twist. Go and bring your chin back to center. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. No rush. Start to make your way up to tabletop. And crawl your knees in. Sit back onto your heels and so that you're upright, head above your heart. And close your eyes and sense how it feels to land seated on your shins. If that's really uncomfortable, you could always set something in between your feet, a yoga block or a pillow. Then with your eyes closed, notice if you see the light a bit brighter and versus having your head nestled down into your mat, into the ground. When you feel yourself gripping in this practice, whether that's in your cheeks, in your jaw, in your face, in your arms, in your legs, remind you and invite you and to let your mind go there, to let your mind go into the resistance. Anything could pop up. And sit on it like you're waving a wand over it, and sit on it with your awareness. And just waving like a radar across side to side. But watch it as though you're watching a movie. And watching a movie is different than watching a TikTok video, everybody. And so we can keep ourselves nice and relevant here in 2021. Bring your eyes back into the space. Bring your right leg out in front of you and sit on your left heel. So if you need to adjust, right, or angle your left toes in a little bit and find a nook space and for your bum to sit on your heel. Again, you can always use a pillow or a blanket, add some padding, and then walk your hands forward. And we're going to let our torso round down. The belly can hang out. And hopefully your mind gets to a place where it's like, up, found it. And hamstring tension, resistance, sensation, found it. Wave the wand, let the breath remain calm and relaxed. And the arms are doing as little as possible, really there simply so you don't fall over if you should fall into a deeper state of your meditation where you're kind of hovering between and being awake and falling asleep. And there can be so much going on in a forward fold. One of the more difficult positions to actually sit in and under and do nothing or do less than what you were doing before. Continue to sit in it, watch, and see, observe. Our mat gives us permission and to do far less than what we're typically used to doing on a minute by minute and to hour by hour basis, and flying around this world from point A to point B, back to point D, over to point C, come back to point A and then go back to B, right? You get it. And what you can see in this practice and how there is a web of connection that sits inside of you, and you can travel all over the web and yet realize and that the web is connected and completely within itself. You're never going outside of yourself. But you're finding yourself all over that web. And sometimes it's pretty, sometimes it's a little messy. All good. Use your hands, start to crawl yourself back in and up, one vertebra at a time. You can keep your eyes closed. And feel the sensation as you sit back onto your left foot. Stack your spine, head above your heart. Soften the chin, open the eyes, and you can take a deeper breath in. And full exhale out. And let's feel the release. Push into your hands, come forward to lunge. And left knee stays down. And set your hands to the ground, okay, or your pillows or your props. And slide your left knee back. So you want your right knee resting inside the front of your right shoulder. And there's feeling in your hips based on the distance of your lunge, but it's not so much that you're finding yourself holding on to your breath or to a place in where it's really altering in the softness of your focus or the willingness to be still. See, if you go too far and you just can't quite still, you've started too far. Doesn't mean you're not going to end up there. But your starting point, and so rather meet yourself where you are. Those first 30 seconds or so are to adjust and adapt, and then we start to drop into it. As your body opens up and gravity sets in a little bit deeper around the bones and the joints and ligaments and tendons, fascia, connective tissue, you can certainly let yourself drop in more and just resist holding yourself up or pulling yourself out.
minute in this lunge. You keep letting go and feel that sense of space being held for you, in which you can learn from and discover how to hold this space and for yourself. Nice and easy, start to move your hips back. It's okay to keep your head heavy or even your eyes closed. Slide your right foot back behind you. And we're going to come back down onto the belly. Release the hips with your legs straight out behind you. And connect your chest down, arms by your sides. And turn your right cheek into the mat, please. And let yourself drop right into the space in whatever we've created thus far in this practice. Switch, turn your left cheek onto the mat. And continue to relax your jaw on the side of your face. Any weight, stress that you're holding behind your eyes, it's not worth holding on to, at least for now. Bring your chin back, hands under your shoulders. You're making big moves today, everybody. Start to come back up onto all fours. And bring your knees in, sit back onto your shins. And I know it's not all that complicated. Hands in your lap. Let's take in more light with the eyes closed. And then when we head the head down. But I love the beauty of being guided in a practice like this, because the odds or the chances of any of you doing this on your own are probably quite slim. And so as I say, if you've plugged into a practice, there's something that you enjoy or something that you can take from or receive, and yet it hasn't quite landed yet, and with an instructor or with a studio, I say, go try another one. Go on a yoga field trip. And now you could field trip all over the world online and take classes with many different types and styles. Open your eyes, lean to your right shin a little bit, and bring your left leg out in front. And adjust your bum onto your right heel. And get situated enough, and then you can start to walk your hands forward. And wave the wand over the sensations in the back of your left leg. Find it, feel it. And then we can soften ourselves around it. And being in a practice like this, as I describe it in the nothingness, does not take away from anything that you're doing, does not take away from any of your qualities and characteristics and personalities. It should only make them shine that much brighter. And where you find and feel an obstacle, a blockage, this help practice and will clear that out. And so you get even more clarity, deeper connection. Feel as far as you've come in your fold, and by slowly crawling your hands back in, and roll up one vertebra at a time. And use your hands, push off of your right shin, come forward to lunge. Left knee sets inside your left shoulder. In between your chest and your shoulder, slide your right knee back. And the arms are here to support you enough. And so that when you hover between that state of being awake and being asleep, and you don't tip over. And head heavy, let the chin come down towards the chest. You can do a lunge. Simple, right? What else does this require besides, you don't even need the yoga mat. You could be doing this on a somewhat padded floor. You could do a lunge every day. And in my experience, that lunge feels different every day. And so our body is showing us, hey, why get too tied up in the relationship with your thoughts? Hey, why hold on too tight into the steering wheel of your life? Why white knuckle your way through the day? But ultimately, you got to stay on a path and where there's connection, where there's clarity for any of this to make sense. You just don't step aside. You step inside. You see the direction that you're going. Connect with the passion of where you're going. But let go of control. And realizing that we're all working together, we're all supporting one another. And I think the beauty of doing that non-verbally is so much better than doing that verbally. And the way you shine that light is taking the time for yourself, being on your mat, going on that meditative walk, and taking 5 minutes to breathe or meditate, and to explore resources on mindfulness or meditation, and to change the conversation, develop a vocabulary. And to notice when you're sitting in those situations and where it's the same old mindless conversation, the drama and the gossip, and being willing to remove yourself, and to slide to the left, to slide to the right. And doing all of this in the most kind and compassionate ways, and for yourself and for others. And we never need to put anybody else down to make ourselves feel better. And let's go slow, everyone. Start to bring your hips back. Keep your head heavy, even eyes closed. Slide your left foot back behind you. And we're going to come down for another belly rebound. Legs straight, land on your stomach. No rush, arms by your sides, and turn your right cheek either onto the mat, or you can make a little pillow with your hands, or use a pillow if you have a pillow, and rest your right cheek. Turn to your left cheek. Slowly turn your chin. Hands back underneath your shoulders. And through your knees, come back up and sit onto your shins, please. If the eyes are closed, let's watch that light transition and from head on the mat into head above your heart. Take it in. It might feel nice. Little lift to the chin. Feel free to move your head lightly. And roll out your neck, circles. Change directions if you're rolling your neck out. And then bring your head back to center. Softly let your eyes come into your space. And crawl forward. Separate your knees so they're mat width distance apart. And we'll set up for reclining hero. Big toes together, heels apart. Your bum in between your heels. And shins grounded. You could start on your hands. And you can make your way to your forearms. You can make your way all the way down. Onto your shoulders or onto a block or onto a pillow. You may land in a higher position and feel it out and keep softening, do less. And then eventually, as you follow the openness of your body and your being, you could make your way further, but you don't have to. I didn't say this at the beginning of the practice, but if you did yesterday's practice, so the Monday practice, right, we will complement that practice with this practice. And so if there is a focus or something that is clearly more of a focus in that Monday class, and you should feel a nice complement into whatever we did yesterday when we do this detox class on Tuesdays. And if you're feeling a lot of compression in your low back, I would say come up a level. So if you're on your shoulders, go back to your forearms. Or if you're on your forearms, go back up to your hands. And so that you can relax more without fighting it. So this is where you want to let go of the white knuckles. And keep the jaw relaxed even though you may be feeling the intensity of the stretch, and we'll stay for one more minute. And from your back, reach for your ankles. And use your elbows, draw with your belly. We're going to have to come up slowly. And back up to one hand and then the other hand. Ooh, lifting your chest. Feel your body. Ooh, bring your knees in, adjust. And so that your heels can come in underneath your bum. And as badly as you may want to get off of these shins, just use your hands for a moment. Take the weight off. And then sit back to your shins. Rest your hands into your lap. And feel the stack of your spine. And see if you can take 3 deeper breaths. In through the nose, out of the mouth. You softly bring your eyes back into your space. If you have some water and you'd like a sip, you are welcome to take a sip. And then we'll lean off to the left hip. Bring your feet around in front of you. And lie down onto your back. Let's release into a Shavasana rebound, lying flat to your back. And if you're like me and you're wondering why you thought what you were supposed to be doing was good for your body, but it feels like you're 90 years old right now. Right, so this is the feeling of getting deeper into and through the fascia and to the joints. And there's a definite and clear achiness. And when you get down that deep, you've compressed, and then you come through in that flow and draws back into the release and through the decompression. Okay, but feel the state as you land in it. Observe your mind. You may see something different, and then you've seen for a little while. And then let's soften the low back, bend your legs and so that both feet are flat. And feet are about hip width or a little wider. Let your knees fall in so that they can touch. If they don't touch, bring your feet in a little bit closer. And you watch anything above your head, take your arms over your head and let them rest down onto the ground. And depending on where you're practicing from, and if you're ahead of us and versus behind us, I believe tomorrow morning sometime in the 4 a.m., like 4:17, 4 something, I can't remember the exact time, but we'll be sitting under a super blood moon, lunar eclipse, of which I have no idea what that means, but I say, hey, I'm willing to sit under it, meet myself where I am, meditate, feel, observe. We don't have to know everything. We don't need the definition. We don't need somebody else and telling us this is what you should do or this is what you should feel. Let's keep the arms where they are. Let both of your knees come down to the left. You can stay where you are or hook your left heel on the outside of your right thigh just above the knee. And let's uncross your left ankle first. Nice. And now simply roll your hips back to square. Your knees turn up. Take a deeper breath in neutral. Exhale all the air out of your lungs through your mouth. Right ankle. Okay, eventually bring your knees down to the right and can go onto your left thigh just above your knee. Pretty cool seeing what happens when you're open to it. When you're allowing your mind to release its fix. You uncross your right ankle first, if it's crossed, and then gently roll your hips back to center, knees on top. And come to neutral, take a deeper breath in, and full exhale, let it out. Let your legs go straight. Bring your arms down by your sides. If you have something beside you that's convenient and you want to cover your eyes, you can do that. And you feel nice to walk your shoulder blades under once on each side. Set your upper back flat. And release your belly. Soften your jaw. And meet yourself where you are right now. And you may want to take some extra time if you've got it and stay, drift if it is in the evening, stay as long as you'd like. And be patient with yourselves, gentle, right, as you feel your sensitivity will be increased. And at the same time, you should feel nice and grounded. Have a beautiful rest of the day, everyone. We'll see you soon. And take care of yourself, take care of each other. Namaste.